Sciencemancy. Pelagic, the ocean, sounds good. And hey, good to see you there, old buddy. So, the paper we're going to do today is about eddies in the ocean and how that affects predators and the animals that they prey on. And it's one of those papers like, how did they figure this out? Because the ocean is filled with eddies. There's all of these swirls in there. And how does that affect things for the fish that are hunting and the fish are getting hunted? Because as Hal Whitehead pointed out in this great book on sperm whales, is the thing that's hard for us terrestrials to get our heads wrapped around is that these fish are living in a three-dimensional environment. We're right here, and none of us look up. You sit on the second story, and nobody ever sees you. But the fish, it's in all directions. You have to be thinking in a spatial way. And also, when you're something that gets preyed upon, it means you have to be watching in different ways. And that's why fish have evolved and have had so much time to evolve all of these different behaviors to keep themselves alive. And so what they did in this study is, here's a whole bunch of fish, commercially important fish, hunter fish, fish that get eaten, and in these different gyres, where they tend to be found, whether they're in the center or not. And notice that there's two columns. That's because gyres go in two different directions, as you can imagine. And so that affects everything. As you can see right here, in the daytime, certain fish tend to be on the outside of it, and the other one, the fish just hardly don't even use that type of gyre. Just because it's going in a different direction, for some reason, that gyre is not helpful for them and they don't interact with it. But then at night, it brings everybody close to the surface and moving in a different pattern. And so this is a kind of study where it makes you wonder, how the hell did they figure all of this out? And then why is it useful? It was actually really useful because as we're trying to save the oceans and create these giant blue parks that actually change things, we want to know how the fish are interacting and what we can learn about counting them in certain locations and where we can allow fishing to go on and still keep it sustainable. And since the ocean is arguably less explored than the moon or much of outer space, the more we can learn about the ocean, the better.